Hi, and welcome back to Open Frequency while we're talking about globalization and Pakistani culture. Taking our earlier definition of Pakistani culture, would you say our culture is evolving to add Western clothing, technology, and slang, that we're embracing a sort of a whole new culture at the expense of our own?
You know what I think is funny is that in America, like I said earlier, there's really not any American culture for us to import besides the clothes and everything. America doesn't.
But is that
have
not
a
a big part of it?
It is a big part of it, but the thing is, if you realize nowadays, we're actually exporting our culture, because if you go to London, if you go to America, what are everyone wearing? Kurtis.
Khadi.
And exactly, kurtis and like
Khussas
and stuff like that, and you know, bangles and
obsession with India and
It's
ethnicity.
so Eastern. So we are actually exporting our culture to them, which is hilarious, because everyone's so worried about our culture being, you know, disintegrated by the Americans, whereas we're kind of exporting it.
It's not a culture of clothing that they're selling. It's a culture of commercialization, and by reciprocating by selling our own stuff, we are indulging in their culture of commercialization.
But isn't that the idea of globalization, to have a two-way street on both ends?
Yeah, exactly.
But is it really working in our favor?
It is working in our favor.
Is it a two-way street?
Like globalization, we can't
how
say
many
that.
Pakistani companies are making these bangles? It's mostly these shops like Claire and stuff that are making bangles and novelty items.
Have you ever looked at them? All of them made in Pakistan. They're
Made in Pakistan, where do the profits
Okay,
go?
but Tal, how important is it to speak Urdu in terms of our culture and our
It's very
identity?
important.
As long as you know who you are inside and you can relate to your nation and its vision, it doesn't matter what language you speak.
What's
But the
our
saddest
nation's
part is,
vision?
my mother's NIC is in Sindhi, her nikah nama is in Urdu, and her passport and driver's license is in English. I mean, we don't even know where we stand. At least we have to know where we are, and then you can look at the rest of the world and try to beat.
Do we know where we are? Then that is the question.
As I said before, it's full of confusion.
Maybe we know where we
We
are.
are so ethnically and linguistically diverse. We can't even settle on a proper national language. can
But
we?
it's,
we have.
but look, there's so many.
We actually have to, and then we keep going.
No, there's so many countries that are having the same issues as us. Maybe, and to a greater degree, like Belgium is having a conflict over which language to use in the civil administration, French or Flemish, and they might even break up over it. Like it gets more intense in many European nations because there's so much more. They think they're more aware of their identity. Pakistan,
Like
at least.
Bengali and Urdu.
Exactly, but at least in Pakistan, we're willing to make these things. You know, your mother could have said, no, I want my nikah nama in Urdu, I want my license in Urdu, and made issues out of it. But we're more accepting, and we are an amalgamation.
I don't think so, because if
No,
you
we're
go
not
out of the
accepting.
urban centers in any of the rural areas, Urdu might be the national language and English might be the official language, but you won't find anyone over there who'll be able to speak those two languages. You'll only find Sindhi, Makrani, Brodi, Balochi, Pashto.
I don't honestly think it's a matter of acceptance as much as a matter of apathy. It's not because we accept that one thing is in Sindhi and the other is in Urdu. We just don't care. Like, okay, it's in Sindhi, I'm never going to
You
read
accept
it.
the fact that you can't do anything about it, right?
We don't care that we can't do anything about it. If
That is
we
the
cared
sad
enough,
part,
then
indifference.
Exactly. We are apathetic and indifferent to anything that goes on. Culturally diverse, we couldn't care less. Honestly, like, it doesn't matter to us in our everyday lives. Does it matter whether someone classifies you as a mela or a burger? It doesn't matter. So we don't care.
But on the larger canvas, both Sindhi, you synonymous, okay, it's part of Sindh, it's part of Pakistan, Urdu, Pakistan. So on a larger canvas, all of it is directly related to Pakistan, and that's Pakistani, so it shouldn't make a difference.
Exactly. So in terms of sort of the development of culture, I mean, since the definition of our culture is obviously not concrete and is a mixture about everything, I mean, is this definition has come about as a sort of some product of different other cultures? Where do we draw the line that now that our culture has sort of stopped evolving? I mean, are we at this place where now we can make it work because we've brought in everything that there is to be brought in, and now we have a new playing field?
Culture's never going to stay rigid. That's one thing.
Culture's
You
not
can't
static,
say that
it's
we've come to a
dynamic.
point where it's not going to change. It's going to always change. Maybe it may even become more Eastern in the next couple of years instead of becoming more Western. I mean, in the last couple of years, if you just talk about clothing right now, okay, first, shalwar kameezes came to the point where they weren't shalwar kameezes, they were pants and jackets, and we were just calling them shalwar kameez because we would wear them to weddings and we wanted to feel Eastern. Now, if you go to weddings, it's more the style of people are wearing long like kameezes down till here with the churidar pajamas. Everything is becoming a lot more traditional again now. So the styles keep changing. So the culture, if you're going to base it on just clothing right now, culture keeps diverse. It keeps going either Western one time or Eastern, and it just keeps changing.
Culture
all the
should
time.
not be this or the clothes or the physical things in around you. It should be the mind, the attitude, what we believe in.
With all your different ethnicities and religions there, you already have different attitudes. So there is no one Pakistani attitude, right? You've got business-minded Maimans, you've got, you know, everyone thinks very differently. Strong-headed Pathan. They're all very different. Everyone will approach the same problem in different ways.
If we get stuck in small pet issues like clothes and physical nitty-gritties, that actually stops us from progressing. On the whole.
But you know, if
I'm not saying
you
put culture aside.
You are losing. I mean, if you start saying, okay, no, you know, this really isn't working for us. Why don't we just, you know, move to pant shirts and stuff and make it more uniform? You are actually leaving behind
our clothes or the way we wear. The way we style our hair, that is a personal expression. It's our self-identity.
Exactly.
It breeds from our mindset. So what we actually think comes out in what we wear. So physical, it may seem like frivolous to some people, but that's actually how we're defining ourselves. So if we're wearing jeans and a t-shirt, we're defining ourselves as Western. If we're wearing a shalwar kameez, we're defining ourselves in Eastern, and that's our mindset.
But our mindset comes from being socialized through our culture. That's where the mindset comes from.
But I'm talking about it as in the fact of physical attributes.
Yeah.
They are indicative of our mindsets. You can't say that they're completely different.
It's about how we look at them again.
No, but you see the point is when Musharraf went to that SARC summit, the really famous one where he went, he wore a sherwani, right? And every Pakistani was like, yes, he's wearing a sherwani. He's not gone in a suit. He's representing us.
It's
So
little similar.
Like he walked into a European Union, he walked into a meeting of like his cabinet, right? And I think one of the ministers like began a memo in English. He got up and left, you know. I think people may think it's frivolous, but I agree with Tanya.
We're moving our focus from values to fabric.
Yeah, I think we're focusing too much on the clothing right now.
And
back to
So
the
that is
definition
a
of
good
culture.
question. What is the value? What are Pakistani values for us? What is our culture of values?
respect elders.
Respect, our family, household, like systems.
And it's all nice.
Families
right?
that make us
Nucleus
different
rather
from
Definitely.
the rest of the subcontinent and the Far
What
East.
does that do
In
for our
fact, even
country?
No,
What does that do for our
one really
country?
strong part of our Pakistani culture is our family. We respect our elders so much compared to most other people.
Yeah.
Like, we
And
could
that's
not, some
but-
things which people say to their parents like abroad, we could not even imagine. Like,
Not
That's
only
a,
that, we
okay,
don't
okay,
even
that's a
have
fair
concept-
point, but unfortunately we've run out of time. But thank you so much for joining us. And please do email or SMS us your comments and let us know if you'd like to be on the show as well. Thanks again and see you next week.